a relatively well-to-do background. I mean, you don't need government scholarship to go overseas. So some people might feel that, how would you be able to empathize with people on the street of a business, family, and stuff like that?
Okay.
What will you say to these people?
Well, I cannot deny that my family's background. I do come from upper middle class family, but we didn't start as an upper middle class family. We, as I mentioned earlier, we started off living in a HDB flat in the Balestier area, and gradually through the years, as my father worked and built up the business, and that's when we started to move houses. And I do admit that from a very young age I've had a very comfortable upbringing, but having spent the past 10 years on the ground as a grassroots leader, I've learned to interact with many senior grassroots leaders and many residents from different profiles. In Buona Vista we have quite a lot of 1 to 3 room flats. Quite a significant number of them are rental flats as well. So at MPS we see a lot of financial assistance cases. For example, the older lady that I mentioned earlier, she has given me an opportunity to understand the needs of older Singaporeans in Singapore. Some of our other residents, I remember one case in particular. When I first started off, I think in 2003, I first met her. She had 3 children. By the time I left Buona Vista to UT, the final time I met her, I think if I remember correctly, she had 13 children. So and she has to fend for them on her own. And this is something that I think as a community leader, and in the future perhaps as an elected member of parliament, I want to champion their cause. I want to be able to ensure that all Singaporeans have an opportunity to grow with our nation and see that they have a part to play as well. So I think that despite my background, my years on the ground has given me an opportunity to understand the needs of my fellow Singaporeans and other Singaporeans who are perhaps in greater need.
How did you get interested in youth issues?
Well, this is something that I would perhaps say that my interest in politics in particular was spurred on by my father. Very often at home, when we had dinner, my father would pick up the newspaper and say, "Oh no, this new policy, what's wrong with it? Or, there's things that we can do more of." And that's how I began sort of a sparring process with my father on arguing on what we should do more of, or is there anything we can improve on. And then gradually from that, I started, of course, church work with younger parishioners as well. And that's when I started my involvement with some homes and working with younger people to interact with older residents. And old folks' home. And then, of course, through interacting with my fellow members, my younger members, I got an understanding of some of their own concerns as well. So that was when I took the plunge, and I joined the grassroots in Buona Vista, working in particular with younger grassroots leaders, and of course eventually joining the Young PAP, and then eventually serving as the vice chairman of our Northwest District at the time. So working with a lot of younger, passionate activists on the ground who have something to say and something to contribute.
You are the second youngest PAP candidate to be introduced. Are you worried that you get the same kind of treatment that netizens are actually giving out to Ms Tin Pei Ling?
Well, perhaps I'll make 2 points on this question. With regards to Pei Ling, I've worked with Pei Ling for about 6 years. Both of us were activists at the Holland Bukit Timah GRC. So I've worked closely with her, and I know that she's very passionate about her work on the ground in getting to serve the residents in Ulu Pandan at that time. So I would think that all Singaporeans should give her an opportunity to show what she can contribute and to prove that she's a worthwhile candidate for the People's Action Party. For myself, many of my friends have pointed out to me that I was possibly one of the youngest, or if not the youngest. Is that a concern to me? I would think that criticism is something that I would take in my stride. If they're constructive criticism, I'm very thankful for that. If there are rooms that there's areas that I should improve on, then I would certainly do so. As a younger Singaporean, I hope to be able to also represent the aspirations of the younger generation. But yet at the same time, as I've mentioned, I'm not standing as a candidate for the People's Action Party just for the young. In interacting with my residents in UT so far, they've come from all different backgrounds. They are older Singaporeans, they're younger Singaporeans, different race, different financial backgrounds as well. So my role is to try to see what I can do to improve to help them grow together with Singapore, together, whether they are younger Singaporeans or they're older Singaporeans.
So you've always been so interested in improving the lives of others. Did you ever feel that you stood out in the field of a sea of empathy among young people?
Well, I don't. I wouldn't say that I ever felt that I stood out. I've interacted with a lot of my classmates, a lot of my fellow grassroots leaders, and even other younger friends. I wouldn't say that there is overwhelming apathy in Singapore. They are interested. Very often that whenever we have meals, they say, recently the PAP has introduced this such and such a policy, or they could be talking about foreign workers or foreign talent in Singapore. But yet at the same time, this image of apathy disappears. They are all very engaged in it. Everyone, even the most quiet person in the group, would want to speak up about the issue and make his or her contribution. So I think younger Singaporeans are interested in what goes on in Singapore, because this is a country that they would be in the long term. They would be the future older Singaporeans as well. So they have their concerns, and they have their own views as well, whether it's online or in mainstream forums. They've already made their presence felt. Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us about your fiancée? When are you getting married? What does she do? How old is she?
Perhaps I'll just keep this aspect of my personal life a little bit more private. But what I can say is that we are planning to get married next year. In February next year. It's something that we've planned for. Regardless of what happens over the next few weeks or the next few months, this is something that we've committed to. And what I can say is that she's been very supportive, and she's been a pillar for me over the past few months as a lot of work has hot up on the grassroots level. She's been very understanding, and she's always been there for me. So that's something that I'm very happy for.
What does she do? Just a description of her occupation.
Oh, she works in the marketing line.
Like an executive, a manager?
She works on contract with a multinational IT company doing marketing.